Once upon a time, in a small town somewhere in northeastern Indiana, two friends were meeting to record a podcast. They had met many times before to record just such a podcast. This was, in fact, their 100th episode. The evening was clear, the weather pleasant, and the friends were eager to begin their discussions. Little did they know that this episode would turn out very different from the 99 that went before.
Okay, so how we doing? So we're talking old stories today.
Wait, old stories or quests?
No, didn't we decide this 100th, Tim? We gotta get this right.
Well, I know before we start talking. I mean, old stories and quests kind of go together, though.
Well,
don't
yeah,
they?
I think we can certainly use one to talk about the other. I mean, you're talking about Gilgamesh and Beowulf and stuff. You're gonna get quests, but a lot of the old stories are quests.
Yeah.
But I thought, we started with the end. So I thought the 100th...
The 100th you do really, really
old stuff, yeah.
We really should have figured this out before now. But
Well, I thought we had, but, I mean, they're both kind of the same thing. But we're not going to talk about modern quests. We're not going to be like, oh, well, look, let's go watch... I don't know what. What's a modern quest? The Boy Who Would Be King.
Oh, Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
I guess.
Well, it feels
semi-modern, but it feels old, yeah. So you mean like... Well,
like mythic sort of quests.
Princess Bride.
Okay, we'll start with the old stories and see how they influence new stuff.
Okay, that could work. I think there's probably enough ground there.
Yeah.
Do you know where the podcast is supposed to be taking us today?
No, I'm just waiting. Isn't that how it normally...
Sometimes it gives us a clue so that we know what we're saying.
Well, we had all those... Do you see on the doorstep again? Those...
Yeah, you had more of those weird stuffed animal things.
Yeah, they seem really familiar, but I don't know. I mean, there were a lot of them.
Yeah. The police don't have any ideas yet?
My cat hates them.
Has it, like, torn them apart or something?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not good. Yeah.
All right, well, let's test the mics here real quick. If we're talking old places, what's a place where the podcast might send us?
It might send us to...
Like where Odysseus is from, maybe?
Or Atlantis. Let's go to Atlantis.
Oh, man. I'm surprised the podcast has never sent us to Atlantis before. Yeah.
Or, I mean, Babylonia. There's all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's not real old. We could go...
But those are old places. What's like one of the oldest stories?
Well, like Gilgamesh is an old story.
Okay.
I think there's one in Japan.
Okay.
Genji. You remember Genji?
Okay. Like from
the Tales of
Genji's
Genji
gloves from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's an old, I think it's the earliest novel. I mean, obviously it's not as old as like some of these myths, but we've never been there. It's so cool. No one, people try to pick places. People might not, they have to really work to figure out where we're coming from.
Yeah. The podcast is very clever that way.
Yeah.
So it's possible to practice test out the microphones here. Maybe we're live from Genji. Live from Genji's palace. This is Derailed Trains of Thought. So something like that, right?
Yeah.
And whoa.
Live from the Swamp of Sadness.
Live from Baba's bathhouse.
From Mr. Gold's pawn shop.
From the Zocalo.
The land of sweets. Live from the White Tower in Carmel.
From Arkham Asylum.
Fairlandra. Fruit Falls.
This is Derailed Trains of Thought.
Derailed Trains of Thought.
This is Derailed Trains of Thought.
That's not how it usually works. That hurt.
Oh, ow.
Podcast really needs to work on the landing.
I mean, whether I'm just getting older, that was a lot harder than normal.
Yeah, that was weird.
So where are we? I don't think this looks like Genji's palace. I mean, I've never been there.
In a field. I don't know, but I don't think we're in Kendaville anymore.
They were, in fact, not in Kendaville anymore. They had landed in a glade of soft grass, surrounded by tall trees, and standing over them was a wizened old man, his white beard trailing the ground. He looked at them, shook his head, and ate a piece of candy from one of his many pockets.
Well, get to it then.
Who are you?
And what do you want?
Oh, stop that nonsense. Get up, get up. Whoever heard of the chosen ones lollygagging in the grass? Shameful, disgraceful. You probably have grass stains and everything.
Look, I don't know what's going on here.
Or where we are.
But we'll just get our equipment and we'll get out of your way.
Look, we just need a nice corner, maybe some shady tree, an hour or so, and we'll be out of your hair, okay?
Equipment, eh? What equipment?
Well, I guess you'd call them magical artifacts. They're just these things that we use to capture your voice. Really magical stuff.
Like a dilapidated MacBook and 2 microphones?
Yeah, just like that.
I have dire news for you, young man. They were stolen.
What?
I said they were stolen.
By who?
By your adversary, the scorned one.
Who?
Your adversary has bided his time, letting his anger fester, and now he has struck. He has brought you here to the land between lands, to the world that is not a world, to the place created by your voices, the reality constructed by the words you have spoken into microphones for most of a decade.
Wait, what?
It's a bit timey-wimey. These things usually are. Pay attention. Your enemy, the one whose puppet must not be named, has brought you here to the realm of derailed thoughts, so that he might finally destroy this world and everything in it. With your Mac and your microphones, he finally has the power to do it.
Okay. Say this all made sense. How would our podcast equipment destroy this world?
Your voices have created this realm. When he records his own podcast in this place in his own voice, all will be lost, and only you can stop him.
I think you must have us mixed up with a different pair of podcasters.
Now go! You have a long journey ahead of you. Make for his lair atop Tanner Mountain. You are our only hope, Timothy and Nicholas.
So wait, who is this guy?
I cannot speak his name. It is too terrifying.
But how will we know when we find him?
He is the ultimate evil, the nemesis of all that is good.
But what's his name?
Fine, I'll tell you. No, I won't.
Come on!
Very well. His name is Bernie Fusco. Now fly, you fools. Fly!
Man, talk about an exposition dump.
All right. Well, I guess we better get going. We're stuck here without the podcast. Thanks a lot, podcast. If we're going to get out of here, I guess we're going to find this Bernie Fusco guy.
Hey, looks like there's a road down there.
And a car. Ooh, sweet ride. That's, maybe we can hitch a ride with him. No one's in it.
Wait, look, here. There's a paper under the windshield wiper.
What's it say?
To the heroes of this realm, I thought you might want a cool car. Now get to it. Sincerely, Crazy Old Coot.
Gotta say, I'll take a cool car. Let's call it the Regalia.
I like that. Oh, and here's a PS. Hurry, or we're all doomed.
Nice touch. Oh, can I drive?
Go for it.
Sweet.
And so the two stranded adventurers began their journey, not knowing what dangers might lie ahead of them.
Hey, it looks like there's some sort of building ahead. Maybe someone there can give us directions.
Sounds good. Looks like the sign says Story School.
I don't know. There's a lot of people in uniforms, marching and stuff. Looks more like a military academy.
Huh. Well, I guess we'll look around.
Where
should we look?
I don't know. Just try this main building over here.
Okay. Sign on door says General Talbot?
Let's try. Let's knock.
What do you want, maggots?
We were hoping...
Attention! Straighten your backs. You in the flannel, stop fidgeting.
Yes, ma'am.
We were hoping to...
Silence! I'll be asking the questions here. Who are you? What do you want?
We're the chosen ones, ma'am.
Really, Nick?
I thought it was worth a shot.
Ha! And I'm a codfish. Who wrote The Hero with 1,000 Faces?
Joseph Campbell. But what does that have to do with...
Define a monomyth.
This isn't really...
Name 6 creators influenced by the idea of monomyth.
George Lucas.
And?
That's all I've got.
How many stages are there in a hero's journey? What are they? Give me examples of each. How have others restructured these stages? How do the stages apply to cinema? Well?
I don't know exactly, but isn't it strange how these things resonate with us? I mean, why do myths and stories share so many elements? I mean, what does that say about us humans as a society?
We have this sense of hero, of growing, and sometimes I think it's interesting theologically. We have the whole world of history is a hero story. For a Christian, it's Jesus. It's a redemption. It's this, someone in the middle of nowhere grows up, has a crowd, faces struggles. I mean, I sometimes wonder if the myths that we have through Greek mythology and other mythologies and some of the stories just echo kind of how the universe is formed.
I think that's kind of what C.S. Lewis thought. I mean, that was a big deal about how he came to the Christian faith.
And I mean, Tolkien felt like, with Silmarillion and stuff, that England needed a good mythology, a good, a rootedness in... Myths are interesting to me. They give us, what is the purpose? Who am I as a person? What's my purpose?
You tied in Jesus to the hero's journey, but also people use the term the Christ figure sometimes in stories.
The types, is that what they call them?
Yeah, it's an archetype, essentially. Yeah. But, I mean, and there's other stories in the Bible where you can see that, too, in a way. Like Moses came from sort of humble beginnings. You go all the way back to the baby.
But that's, a lot of times they'll be a son of a God, but forget, and they'll be just...
Yeah.
Born, they would just be in the middle of nowhere, then brought back up again. Mm-hmm. Usually from, some mentor comes in and says, hey, do this, whether it's a burning bush or just some old coot or whatever.
The prophet Samuel coming to find David.
I mean, David's a great example of,
man. David had such a crazy... David had like a Shakespearean epic sort of life.
And I'm always surprised that people haven't done a good... Maybe they have, I don't know. Now that we have Netflix and stuff, a good series of Old Testament... that doesn't just discount the entire religious aspect of it.
Well, I guess the Bible series did some of that.
Well, that's true.
Which I haven't seen. I know I should.
But I would like to see it make it realistic and political, but don't excise all the religious stuff. But, make it like we're living there. Which, be the Bible highlights certain things and downplays other things.
You mean the Bible is in the actual...
The actual Bible. The actual story.
Not the miniseries.
And, so I think Joseph Campbell I have not read Hero with 1,000 Faces. But has a lot of these things show up, I think, because they're just kind of in the things we want to see, at least in Western culture. And I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how much outside of Western culture these things hold up. I'm sure he looked at myths.
Probably. I mean, I think that's one reason why George Lucas, everyone knows Joseph Campbell because of George Lucas. But I think part of the reason that attracted him is because he had already also... Well, I don't know what the order is, whether he'd read Joseph Campbell first and then was reading I think it was Jung...
Oh, yeah.
He had read some other Eastern philosophers as well, and he kind of blended the two things. So I think there must be. We probably should maybe that'd be a good book club book sometime. Do the hero's journey.
That's true.
Just to see how many different cultures he pulled that from.
When it gets updated, not comic book movies, which are everywhere, but I mean. You read the originals of all these things, it's basically just, Spider-Man, random guy, bit by a spider.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben's the mentor. You go on, and then because they're comic books, they go on forever.
Uh-huh.
But that sort of sense of normal people being thrown into extraordinary circumstances, being melded into this quest is, I think, something everyone longs for.
Definitely.
And which is why it resonates. We don't watch movies about things we don't care about normally.
I mean, I know we did talk about in that one episode about story conventions, about how different cultures will have different conventions. But I mean, at the same time, every culture has its own flood story based on...
And they all have their hero story. I mean, the virtue of the heroes change depending on the culture. What is the most important, whether it's power, sacrifice, or various things.
Yeah.
But there's still this sort of idea that the purpose of a hero is also to exemplify the virtues of the culture.
Mm-hmm. And it's probably common, too, for the journey to work. It's kind of as a metaphor, whether it's a journey to find yourself or a journey to forget yourself, depending on what it is. I mean, it's easy to view life in general as that, whether you're actually a traveler or not.
And I guess, hero journey resonates also just because we all feel like where we start is not where we want to end. That life is a journey. We feel like there's until, let's get super atheist, that there's a tautological purpose, that there's a meaning in my life, and where is it? As opposed to just like, I'm just living each day and nothing really matters to me. But yeah.
That makes sense to me.
What do you think about that, General Talbot?
By Zayaczak's mansion, you are the chosen ones. What can I do for you?
No, really, we just wanted directions to Mount Tanner. Well, I'm a little stiff from standing up so straight, but it turned out okay. Ready to go?
Make it so.
Hey, it looks like there's a carnival or something up ahead.
Oh, it looks interesting. Maybe we could stop by.
Well, there's let's at least see. There's a ringmaster or like a
town crier. Rodani window.
Okay, yeah, I'll see what he's talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, come one, come all to the Pun Time Circus and Menagerie. We've got giggles and groans, grins and grimaces galore. Our hula hoop girls will set you spinning. And our tightrope act walks a fine line and will keep you on the edge of your seat. You'll cheer as he balances a chair and his checkbook. You'll gasp as our lion tamer makes people tell the truth. And if you're a politician, you might want to step out for a moment, if you know what I mean. And that's not all. Whatever your fandom, we've got some axe to grind with you. Famed sharpshooter Walt Disney will take aim at every possible target demographic. Esteemed trampoline acrobatic Hayao Miyazaki springs back from retirement again and again. And there's more. Marvel at our superhero universe. Cheer as the beautiful Mara Jade is shot out of a cannon. Gasp as Ringmaster Orlando Bloom swallows a sword and misses the point. Your smiles will be beaming once you recognize our very own Picard as he returns to the show again and again with a new disguise, 25% different each time line.
Okay, I've heard enough.
Yeah, let's get going.
And before you leave, make sure to try some of our paintings created by our very own trapeze artists.
All right, Nick, we're back on the road. Find a soundtrack for us to listen to.
Let me look at this radio here. Tim, it's like hooked up directly to OC Remix.
Oh, wow, this is perfect for us.
It was meant for us. Okay, let's see. How was some Outrun?
Okay.
Here we go. Try this. Wait. How about we try this one?
We go through this every time you want to pick a soundtrack.
No, these are all really good, okay?
All right, let's hear it.
One more, maybe? See, those were good.
Let's just settle on this one. I like this one.
Oh.
We'll play it down in the background while we're talking.
Okay, I can deal with that, I guess.
When we ever get back to your house and actually start this podcast up again.
It would be nice. This is just weird.
It's super weird. But I do have something we might be able to talk about for listener feedback.
Oh, really? We got some listeners?
Well,
listeners feedback.
Do we have some listeners to give feedback? That would be nice. I'd hope so. But well, now that you set that up, it sounds a little awkward saying this is from my mom.
Yeah, let's try this. Nathan put one actually just recently too.
Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah. Well, Mom pointed out to me, and I thought, this is worth acknowledging. And our last episode, when we talked about hype, and we said how it was in a lot of ways something that came up from like Star Wars and all that kind of stuff. She brought out, it's like, well, there was hype before then. Like she talked about like there were definitely a lot of hype for like certain movies and actors, back in the day.
That's true. We didn't really talk about actors.
No, we didn't talk about actors. And then when we started talking about that, I was like, well, yeah, duh. Of course there was hype. Because I thought back to like my film history classes and like movies like Gone with the Wind and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first full-length animated movie. Of course, there was huge hype about that back in the day.
I think it was just different. Maybe it was more advertising driven or word of mouth driven.
Word of mouth. I mean, certain things were like would have enough attention that there'd be an actual like newsreel about it, or might be mentioned on the radio. Well, there was a lot of times movie stars to drum up. Nowadays they'd show up on like talk shows. Back then they would have showed up on like comedy shows, Jack Benny or what have you, all your radio programs to really hype up the movie that they would have coming out.
Well, it makes sense. I think because we live in the internet age, we just thought, oh, the internet made everything worse, and it probably did.
And
it's more micro, like it's intensely focused on little things now, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably true. Because I remember like back when my senior paper in high school was actually all about radio, like old time radio.
Yeah.
And one of the important things about it then was it was really one of the first mass mediums.
That makes sense. Everyone listened to.
Everyone listened to it.
The same thing.
And the same thing. And in that way, it really unified the country, in a way that had never been before. The United States was this broad spectrum spread out all over this huge
continent. And suddenly
continent.
Everyone knows the same thing.
Everyone had the same jokes. Everyone was listening at the same time. So it was a big deal back then. And I think nowadays, when if we look at something that like everyone's partaking in, we've got like superhero movies.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
So and now we're
so spread out. Mm-hmm. So that's one reason why the hype for the superhero stuff or your Star Wars is such a much bigger deal nowadays. In some ways. So anyway, I thought that was an important historical context that we missed when we talked about it last time.
Yeah, I think that's a good correction oversight on our part.
So we can make sure we talk about that
when we get back. Yeah.
Yeah, when we get back.
Nathan mentioned something. I don't have it in front of me, obviously, but some sort of about the Godzilla. He's on a Godzilla kick.
Oh sure. When has he not been on a Godzilla kick?
But the new Godzilla movie, and then like the original 1998 American one.
Okay.
Both kind of suffered from overexposure early on. Like they said, look, this is gonna be so great, and then it kind of oversold it and created that sort of hype that backfired with fans or with critics and stuff. So that's how his personal experience of the hype that we were talking about.
The hype having a negative effect as much as a...
Yeah.
I mean, if you enjoy something, you want there to be hype about it.
So it's like we said in the last episode, it's a fine balance.
Yeah.
So when we get back, we need to make sure we mention those things.
Man, before we talk about anything else, though, I have to ask, do you believe what that crazy old guy said, that this is the realm of derailed trains created by stuff we've talked about on the podcast before?
I don't know. It seems kind of far-fetched, but we've been in some weird stuff before.
Yeah, and some of it does seem kind of familiar to things we may have talked about, but I don't know, it's kind of weirded me out.
But there might be a good side to all this. I mean, if this is created out of our conversation and stuff, think of some of the cool characters we can meet.
Ooh, that's a good point. You think we could meet Aragorn?
I don't know, but that'd be awesome. Or maybe Sheridan.
Yeah, or is that a spaceship?
No, John Sheridan. Remember from Babylon 5?
No. Coming up behind us. Look in the mirror. Is that a spaceship?
Tim, that's a Cylon Land Cruiser.
A what?
Yeah, it looks like it's headed our way. You better step on it.
What?
They're shooting at us. Go!
This is crazy. Why are Cylons chasing us?
Because it's dramatic. Drive faster.
The two podcasters sped along a canyon road in a regalia with the relentless cyborgs in hot pursuit. With every harrowing curve and turn pin, they prayed their tires would stay on the road and cursed the conventions of dangerous car chase scenes.
All right, check and see if that crazy old man outfitted this thing with any hidden weapons or gadgets or something. Maybe this car transformed into a monster truck or an airplane.
There's a big red button.
Ooh, I like big red buttons. Go for it.
Okay, a panel opened up. There's a lot more buttons now.
What?
Each button has a picture of a different character on it.
Okay, whatever you do not press the Dr. Doofenshmirtz button.
A good idea. And there's one with Wile E. Coyote on it. Maybe we should avoid that one too.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's a Thanos one.
That's gotta be good.
Okay, here we go.
Bubble guns? Bubbles? Really?
Who designed this car?
Try a button that's not a villain.
Okay, Donkey Kong. I think I just shot a banana peel out of the trunk.
What? This isn't Mario Kart.
But I didn't slow him down either, so keep going.
Well, we're almost out of this canyon. Maybe we can lose him in that forest up ahead.
Tim, look ahead. Look ahead. Look ahead.
Is that another Cylon cruiser coming toward us?
Yes.
Try another button. Go for the Kermit one.
Initiating leapfrog maneuver.
The Regalia suddenly leaped into the air, propelled by rocket boosters installed in its undercarriage. It flew over the oncoming Cylon cruiser, distracting its driver and causing it to crash into the other Cylon cruiser in a spectacularly cool explosion. Meanwhile, the Regalia soared toward a nearby forest until its rocket boosters slowed, sputtered, and then stopped, sending the car plummeting into the trees below. Fortunately, the evergreens and a plethora of airbags cushioned the fall.
Nick, are you all right?
I think, can we just stop landing so hard? Yeah, I think.
This is a bad habit for us.
Yeah.
If that crazy old man ever offers me a car again, remind me to kick him in the shins. Rip-off artist.
Oh, come on. This car's totaled.
Man, it's such a nice car, though. I love this car.
It did have some good music. Well, let's go. We gotta find a way through these trees.
All right.
Tim, is it just me or is this wood starting to look a little like
a giant spider's web?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Let's try to get through this as fast as possible.
That's a good idea.
Oh, but why in such a rush? Stay a while, my dearies.
What was that?
I don't really want to know.
Of course you do. It was I, Gloomweaver. Welcome to my Intrawebs, dear web dwellers.
Nick, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
A giant spider that's talking to us?
With a smartphone in each of her 8 legs?
That about sums it up.
Good. Now that we're all on the same webpage, I have so much to show you. So many strange, wondrous things that came from the intrawebs. Let me show you this one. First, you must look at you must listen to 250 Miles.
Okay.
It's amazing. You must read the lyrics at the same time. It is part of the experience.
When I win, well, I'm gonna be who next to you. When I go, yeah, I'm gonna be who go with you. If I get, well, I'm gonna be who gets to you. If I hit, yeah, I'm gonna be who's into you. But
what language is this?
It's vaguely Scottish.
Vaguely.
All right.
Well, this strange spider, this is very catchy.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
It's familiar as well, is it not?
It is. Just tentatively.
In a way you've never heard before.
What's the actual song here?
If I walk 5,000 miles.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Can't you hear it?
But every other beat has been removed. That's why it's 250 miles, not 500 miles.
That is amazing. So who would decide to do that?
That's a good question.
It came from the intrawebs.
That's fabulous.
All right. Well, I'm impressed.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, let's see some more of this stuff.
I have so much more to show you.
Well, okay. Well, maybe this might be worth our while. That was entertaining.
Yeah.
What else do you have for us?
Oh yes, the talking cats.
Oh, this seems like something that's
It'd be worth it. Yeah.
It's absolutely worth a watch and a listen.
Seems very fitting from Intrawebs.
What? Meow. Meow.
So we've got cats.
Talking cats.
With human mouths.
Aren't they adorable?
They are.
Adorable is not the word I would use.
They are frighteningly adorable.
I just love them so much.
This had to come from Intrawebs.
Oh, clearly.
I am glad this exists.
No other place would be this insane.
Can you explain? Can you imagine? Just like previous generations did not have access to this.
It's true. We are so blessed.
Why did I waste my life making this video? Because I can.
Nice.
Okay, I am hooked here. I think this.
Man,
I'm stuck. Maybe.
Yeah, this is a very sticky place for us to be. What else you got?
Oh, come closer. Let me show you the next one. Let me just switch to this smartphone here on my third leg. Let's see what's going here.
Crazy woman.
Oh, is this how to make s'mores?
Yeah.
Yes. This is a very important tutorial.
This is actually how I do it most of the time.
Yes. With a fork and a Bic lighter.
Yeah, she's basically like a dinosaur attacking. Whoa.
I feel like this is how Godzilla would make a s'more.
It's very important information.
I love the fact that these things exist. My life is much better now.
Yeah, that's true. That's certainly how I eat the s'mores. I don't know that that's how I make the s'mores, but I
think from now on I should make the s'mores that way.
I'm sure your kids.
My children would love that. Yeah. They're like, Dad, do it again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of marshmallows.
All right. Well, that was nice.
It was more than nice, Tim. Come on now.
Well, yes. I don't want us to get too distracted from our quest.
What quest?
I thought we had a quest.
I think we had to watch something else.
Oh, I have so much more to show you. It is never ending.
So what do you have next for us?
This is a very important sketch.
This is called Superglued.
Jack.
Two guys talking.
I've superglued my hands together.
I'm so glad we are friends.
Jack, this is serious.
Well, damn, just send me off to Planet Interest.
Jack.
You can tell how much they love each other and care for each other with the way they're yelling.
Look, I'm ready to go, raring to go.
Nothing.
Can't wait.
I can't use them up.
Ooh, there he goes. All the way to Planet Interest. And I'm not on it.
I don't think you understand, Jack. Look, the only dance move I can do is the fish. Bing. I've superglued my hands.
I've been here the whole time!
Don't forget me, Bing! I'm vulnerable!
I can't even look at you!
If I try and take my shirt off, it just becomes gloves.
Oh, you're so stupid!
Tom, ideas.
Have you considered prayer?
Well, a fat load of good you are. Jack.
Theory. We'll see if I'm right. Okay. I think all they have superglued hands in their various poses.
Oh.
One of them has a
hand on the face.
Hand on the face. Hand on the chin.
I'm going to drive myself to the hospital now and probably crash and die. Because I've glued my hands together. You've all glued your hands to your faces, haven't you?
Yeah, we have, yes.
Got it. Called
that
it.
That is fabulous.
We should all go to the hospital now.
That's pretty great.
That's nice. Looks like that's a whole channel, this kind of stuff.
I don't know. That's the only one I've seen. We could watch more.
Well, those are quite interesting. They're
fabulous.
Oh, yes. And if you care to stay, I can find many more.
I think we probably should be getting back
What?
to...
You sure?
That was fun, but we really should be going.
Can we stay?
But no, Nick, we've got a quest we're supposed to be going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should go.
Oh, but there's so much more. I can show you a cat playing a piano, or a guardian of the sand, or a trombone and an oven-door duet. Netflix. There are so many things on Netflix. Have you seen Stranger Things? There's a new season coming out very soon.
Why is it so hard to move in here?
I think she's been coating our legs and webbing.
You will stay with me, my dears. Why would you ever want to leave my beautiful intrawebs?
Well, you've got a lot of neat stuff, but your Wi-Fi's down.
What? Oh, I'd better run some diagnostics.
All right, quick, while she's distracted.
Right, I got a pocket knife here. Let's get out.
Cut and run, let's go.
Everything seems to be normal, my friend. Where did they go? Oh, no matter. I made sure I stuck some webbing cookies to their cell phones. They may not be on this website anymore, but the intrawebs will always be with them.
After narrowly escaping from the clutches of the spider Gloomweaver's intrawebs, the pair of podcasters pushed through the forest and found themselves in a quaint small town named Ithaca.
Hey, I hear voices. That building is coming from over there.
Oh, it looks like an inn of some sort. The sign says the Prancing Pony.
Oh, that sounds homey. I could use some mead.
Mead? Really?
Sure. Isn't that what you order at places like this usually?
I guess.
Now what? This place is packed.
Let's try the bar. There's some space over there. Maybe get some of this mead stuff.
Or butterbeer.
What?
Oh, I keep forgetting you don't know any Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
What'll you fellows have?
What you got?
We've got Demon Eyes, Romulan Ale, Martini, Soma, Duff Beer, Bivari, Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster, Fizzy Lifting Drink, Ambrosia, Mutter's Milk, and McCutcheon Whiskey.
How about root beer?
Not much call for that around here, but you've got a nice look. I'll see what I can dig up.
Okay.
I think she likes you.
Now, stop it.
Ask her name.
Found 2 root beers.
How much do we owe you?
For you, nothing.
And me?
Whatever. Just take it.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks.
Janice. The name's Janice.
Thank you, Janice.
Oh, no problem. Like, for sure, really.
Hey, you two! You two over there! With the hats and the beards! No, not you. I'm sorry, not you two. I want the other 2 weirdos. Yeah, you! Look at it.
Careful around Crazy Kenny. He's only mostly harmless.
Thanks.
See you around, stranger.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you. Oh, these guys. I got a chair. Let me talk to you. No. Sit down. I want to talk to you. Let me talk to you. Just take it.
Okay. How are you?
Oh.
What's your name?
I'm Tim.
I'm Nick.
I knew it. Welcome to my corner. You were looking for me. I know it. I could tell you have the face. You got the face of the people that were looking for me.
We're just looking for a drink. That's all, honestly.
I just wanted to speak to me. Don't be coy. Come on. This is my corner here. This is my castle. I am king here. All these people, they think you're gonna talk to these people. They're jokesters, they're kidders. They say I'm a crackpot or something. So you know what they say? Go ahead, guess. Crazy Kenny the crackpot. Oh my gosh, it's funny.
What are you drinking?
I don't drink. I drink water.
Oh, okay. That's probably.
It's good for I put a little lemon in that.
I don't know if that's encouraging
actually
or not.
activates the metabolism. You should really look it up. I have some literature for you. I'll have you read it later. Here's a pamphlet. Here, take it.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anytime. Also, I'll give you this wonderful recipe for buttered coffee. Really great when you're on the keto diet. Anyways, here you are then. We're in the Crackpot's corner. I'm so excited.
What do you do here in your Crackpot's corner?
Oh, little of this, little of that. People look up to me because I'm always looking out for the little guys. I want to make sure that the needs of the people are really being met. You know, it's really important that we're just sitting back while people are going day in, day out like sheep. Oh my gosh. No, I'm a dreamer. I sit and I think. I drink my little lemon water, sometimes with cucumber, not at the same time. And I dream of ways to help people. And I know I see your face.
So, like, how do you help these people?
Yeah, Oh, there you go. That's what I thought you were going to ask. Okay, I got a couple of ideas. I literally just scribbled them down while you were saying whatever your names were. Anyways, okay, are you ready? Okay, here's my first one. Okay, I got this. All right, so Heelys, right? Do you remember Heelys? You got the cool shoes.
Oh, yeah.
The shoes got like... Yeah.
The shoes with the roller skates in them?
Yeah, that's the one. Got the little heels, the little wheels that pop out. You can like scoot on them. Real cool. You could do like sick tricks on them and like ksh, ksh, ksh. But what we need is one for the modern traveler.
Okay.
Is what we're trying to go for, right? So we need to motorize these bad boys, right? It's gonna be exhausting if you're just.
Wait, are you talking about rocket skates?
You're thinking on the same wavelength as me. I knew you were the guys I wanted to talk to. I'm talking some real life steampunk, cool looking rocketies. We're talking rocketies. We are shooting.
Okay,
we are moving.
They sound a little dangerous.
And you would think that when the first train started moving around, you know what they said about it? It's going too fast. You know how fast it was going? Something like 10 miles an hour. It was absolutely ridiculous. So you don't whatever you're about to say, I know what you're about to say, just leave it at the door.
Well,
leave it at the door.
But like I feel like I've seen cartoons try this with disastrous results.
Name one cartoon.
Wile E. Coyote.
So anyways, what I was thinking was we could really have like some kind of stick to have as a because if you got 2 feet, it's kind of hard to navigate. So I was thinking, what if you had not only with your Heelys, a little stick with a third wheel that you could just kind of like have in front of you, so you'd have like a little tripod action going.
Well, it's kind of balance yourself a little bit.
Yeah, you just want to like drive around on that boy, you know.
So wait, like if you're like leaning on the front on the pole, you going 30, 40 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
Go on. What if like the pole slips out from under you and you just go face first at 40 miles an hour?
Okay, I see what you're saying, or at least I can't. I hear what you're saying. I couldn't see it. If I did that, I would be crazy. Anyways, what we can do, all right, scrap it. We take Heelys, upgrade it to scooter Heely combination. Or not scooter, what do they call? Old people have them. Walkers. You have walkers.
Okay.
Yeah, walkers with the wheels on them.
Okay.
You can walk around,
Maybe.
and then when you want to, come on, yeah, you got a little rocket action going.
Yeah, I try it once. It feels to me about as safe as those water rockets that you go out on the ocean and your water bursts keep you floating.
Mm-hmm. The only other problem I have with this at this point, it reminds me an awful lot from clips I've seen of the movie Return to Oz. I think they had these like weird like roller people thing that had like each of their 4 limbs had like roller skates on them or something, and they were like freaky as all get out.
You watch Return to Oz. That's their problem.
Well, I haven't watched all Return to Oz.
Okay.
I've just seen pictures of these freakish, like, rejects from Beetlejuice that have, like, roller skates on for hands, essentially. Hands and feet.
That's even weirder, I think, than what our friend here is saying.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that I'm afraid this is a slippery slope.
Oh, a slippery slope?
Like,
okay.
we're going from, like, rocket skates, which, that's fun, that's cartoony, to, like, a full, like, contraption where we're balancing on...
Maybe it's more of like a sport.
A sport?
A sport. Like
they have luge.
Oh yeah,
right?
there you
go. They have downhill scootering.
Why don't we go uphill?
Uphill scootering.
Uphill luge.
Now a sport.
Uphill luge. Yeah, or it'd just be called ghoul
luge.
because backwards.
What?
Because luge backward is ghoul.
Humans already have a disadvantage at going backwards. What a better way to make a sport out of it?
Exactly.
We just need a whole team. I'll start. I know. I created it. I should be the leader. You're right. I should do it. I'll do it. Fine. As if you say so. And we can create our own backwards, uphill luge team. I'm glad we thought of it.
I will support you from the sidelines.
Oh, we'll talk about it. Anyways, all right. Tired of that? All right, let's go on. Let's move on. I was thinking, you know what the thing is these days? Drones. Everyone wants a drone. Drones are cool. You got drones all over the place. Amazon using drones, right?
This is a slightly terrifying prospect, but yeah, that's what they've been talking about.
Okay, all right. So what I'm thinking is, what if eventually everyone has their own drone? fast food joints could do, what they could start doing is start having launch pads on the top of their building so that people would just park their drones up there, clip on little foodie foods, right? You want a little Taco Bell in the middle of the night or something like that? Well, that's fine. Go ahead, just fly, right? Your drone. You can have a little guy standing up there on the Taco Bell, and he could like wave the drones in, like, oh, you can park over here. Oh, and then he'll come in and he'll clip on your super extra large chicken enchilada chalupa mix, pizza sized, and it's just you just zoom on away. You just got yourself a nice little 2 billion calorie meal coming to you, and it's yours. It's like yours.
You know, I'm actually all for this idea, and I think there's a good way that you could control with if everyone has their own drones. I think the easy way to manage all these drones flying pizza food deliveries for everyone is just give each restaurant like their own altitude designation.
Oh.
So then like your Pizza Hut is like so high, and then like
so they can land different levels.
Yeah. So that way, you know, this is like an even better feature than the Jetsons, because the Jetsons have those flying cars all over.
Yeah.
And we've seen from like Attack of the Clones that's a mess.
Yeah.
But like if
terrible.
If you just have drones delivering everyone's food everywhere, then no one will ever need to leave their house.
Exactly. So basically, we create these wonderful works of art and we use them to get food so we don't have to leave home.
Exactly.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just one step closer to always being in a virtual reality world. Wonderful.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good. And we're really what we could also have, because pretty much every restaurant is gonna need their own set of flight coordinators. So we're also making a lot of jobs.
Oh,
That's
sure.
true.
Yeah.
Now
that's what I do. I add to the economy. I do that.
Now, I do think the problem with the drone idea is that it probably takes away from the need for the Healy idea. You don't have to go anywhere anymore.
Don't say that. Take that back.
But the Healy
it's a sport.
Yes, it's
Oh,
a sport now.
Okay, the sport will still be good because we want to watch other people do things outside.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Without going outside ourselves.
Why the heck would you do it yourself? What are you, crazy?
Only the paid
He's a
professionals
crackpot.
can do that.
Yeah.
Oh
only-
my gosh.
Yeah. Right. So okay, yeah, I think you're at least 1 for 1, maybe if not more. So what?
Thank you. 1 for 1. This is wow. Sammy, that hurts. Look. All right, fine. I have another. Okay, you ready?
As ready as we can be.
All right, look. You know what is the worst thing about water parks? Sunbirds. Everyone hates them. I know. That's what you're about to say. You're about to say it, weren't you? A little tricky trick. Sunbirds. Sunbirds are the worst. And sometimes it's a pain in the butt to get the sunscreen on yourself, right?
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt because you got icky sticky all over your arms. It's really gross. Or you got to get your weird aunt to go and put it on your back. That's also gross, right? Like, I don't want that. So what they should do at water parks, every first ride that you go on is strictly not water, but sunscreen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig that idea.
Yeah, I mean, we need goggles, but...
Yeah, goggles would be a must.
Well, and I guess you'll need, like, 2 or 3 slides because people want different SPFs.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. Like,
True.
you could have, like, the kitty...
Like the 50, like, I'm not going to let the sun touch me sort of stuff, and the...
Yeah.
So is it just a basic water slide that just is full of sunscreen, or is it?
Absolutely, yeah. And then you got a little thing, right? So you could put on your goggles. You put on your goggles because you want to get sunscreen in your eyeballs. That's the worst. And then you got a little thing in your mouth because have you ever tasted sunscreen? Don't do it. It's the worst. Cocoa butter doesn't taste like cocoa butter. Or cacao? What is it?
Cuckoo.
Shea butter. Shea butter.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say, me?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were calling me.
I was being silly.
Sorry. Don't do that.
All right, sorry, your job.
No, it's fine. It's not what I said. Okay, so
my question though about the water slide with the lotion thing is that that's going to cover your back pretty well, and you might get on your sides and stuff. At least, and it'll rub it in because you're going down the slide.
It's going to go everywhere. It's going everywhere.
We leave the pool at the bottom.
Oh, the pool of suntan
Well,
lotion.
yeah, at the bottom.
Okay,
yeah.
I suppose that's true.
Or you just have to make sure you rotate.
Yeah, while you're sliding down.
You could do that too.
Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, so this is
and
this is a surefire way.
It's much more fun to reapply when you have to take another slide.
I look forward to seeing the safety reports for this thing.
I don't.
Don't worry about it.
But it'll be fun. I feel like this is the sort of thing that Phineas and Ferb would approve of.
It's doing absolutely wonderful in places like North Korea and Russia. It's doing absolutely just.
So yeah, I'm pretty much. I think the slide's a great idea. I think I would watch the reverse rocket luge, and the drone food delivery.
Yeah, that's a winner. I would stay away from any water slides in North Korea. That's just me personally.
That's fair.
But the I think it's a great mix of practical and fun.
Yeah.
And
So I don't know. You're only kind of crazy.
I don't know how to take that. I don't.
I'd say take it as a compliment.
Yes. It take it in the way it was meant.
Hey, wait, what does that mean?
Anyway, it's getting dark out.
Dark. Yeah, we gotta get going
no,
here.
No. It's not.
Do you think they have a room here?
Yeah.
Do you guys like sushi?
Not real. No, we had a long day. It's been very stressful. Lots of weird stuff has happened to us. We really just want to get a room.
Oh, I get it. I understand. You can ask the innkeeper. You can talk to him. He's the guy over there. You see him with the face and he's got the curly stash. You can talk to him. It's fine.
Okay, great. Well, it was nice to meet you, Kenny.
Yeah, you gonna come back?
We got this.
Come back
this
way.
We got this quest.
Walk back this way.
We can't promise.
We got this quest
Look,
thing going on.
I set up. I actually, while you were talking to me, Sherry and Freddie, I made these dolls for you. I made them. You can just come by. They look like you. Look at them. They're so cute.
All right, anyway, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah. Well, okay. Bye. We gotta see you. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, travelers!
Hi.
You look like discerning chaps, looking for some entertainment, perhaps some fireside reading? Need something to take your mind off your ho-hum workaday lives? Have I got some books for you?
Wait, what's this book?
Ninjas and talking trees, funny, clever, and it has an accountant in it. How about zombies and war? There's always room for another zombie book, am I right? Oh, I got it! Kaiju! Do you like kaiju? Of course you like kaiju. You do like kaiju, right?
We're really just looking for a room.
And the book?
Just a bed, please.
And the book for the morning?
Just a room.
I have some novellas.
No, thank you.
Have it your way. Jimmy! Take these two to the room in the garret. The roof leaks and the panes are loose and the bats roost there. But since you have no imagination, it won't matter much.
The wind rattled through the garret room, which had no bed and only a bit of raw gnawed fabric for warmth. But the intrepid podcasters soon found themselves asleep despite all of this. And in their uneasy dreams, they glimpsed thoughts of words that had been previously on their minds.
Words.
Procrastination.
Villain.
Family.
Episode 60. Long-running stories. That was an interesting topic.
Yeah, and it keeps coming up as something worth talking about. I mean, even though we covered it, there keeps being long-running stories, and you have to keep tackling how do we deal with the change of
what you do with, like Star Wars, which is something we talk about on the podcast a lot. And we talked about this in our last Jedi discussion. Like, if you're going to continue doing a franchise that long, obviously it can't continue to be the same thing, and that's kind of what Last Jedi was all about. And
it made people mad.
Now, I will say, to empathize with some people, I've seen some discussions about Last Jedi online where they were just very dismissive about people's opinions about having not liking the thing that were changing too much. And like, I don't think you can like, I think it's important for a franchise to move on, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth castigating people for liking the certain
things.
things.
Last Jedi did a lot of things that you can say this was good and this was bad change-wise. It's not like you have to embrace wholeheartedly all the changes they did.
Right.
Of anything. I mean, some of them might grow on you and someone might be like, let's try something else.
And it occurred to me, Kylo Ren is the one that's saying burn everything down. And at first, Luke is also like, burn everything down. But then he changed his mind, and then you find out, oh no, they did keep the Jedi texts.
So you're saying we should embrace change like that, burn some of it down and keep some of the old stuff?
Yeah, that's. I guess it's sort of like burning down the dross and then keeping what's the gold elements of it.
Like what makes, and they keep trying to figure this out, what does make a Star Wars story if there's not Skywalker?
Yeah, it's a good question. And are you willing to do different kinds? I mean, I think there's a difference between a good Star Wars movie and a Star Wars story. Like, there's some great extended universe stuff that doesn't feel quite like a movie.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But there's certain things I like having in a in a Star Wars movie that make it feel like a Star Wars movie. That I wouldn't necessarily place those same expectations on every Star Wars bit of media that comes out after it. But that's just my taste.
Well, and then the other thing, I mean, that's the one that is probably most changed. But you got, the Marvel movies keep kind of maneuvering. You've gone through lots of Muppets changes.
Well, and even we'll talk about this more sometime after you've seen it. But like with Toy Story 4, a lot of people were like, should we really do another Toy Story? The last one ended so perfectly. And this most recent one, I'd say it was mostly worth it. I had a little qualm at the end. I'll like to talk with you about later, but if you're going to continue doing a story, that's kind of the give and take when you have these beloved stories that keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to give some changes, and you're going to have to take some. Obviously, some things have to stay the same.
Yeah, or it's not the same show anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about a balance
in the Force.
Zombies.
Endings.
Departing.
Mystery.
Technobabble.
Muckluck. Macadamia. Sesquipedalian.
Episode 9. So reboots. I know we keep coming back to reboots.
We keep rebooting the same topic. It's just
as long as it keeps happening. And the thing is, they're getting better at it. Like
I think people are learning that you got to keep the soul of the old stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and care. Like you got to care about it.
Yes.
Not just like there was this phase where like all these old sitcoms would be made in movies and like they didn't care at all. They're just making lame.
Oh yeah. Well, perfect case in point. I guess this is more about adaptation.
Okay.
But recently we on the interwebs there was 2 different upcoming movies and that had 2 very different reactions, both about video games. You had your Pokemon Pikachu movie, which looked beautiful. You could tell there was a lot of love poured into that. And then there was the
Sonic.
And then there was the Sonic one, which looked terrible and felt like one of those movies that, the people who were making it were just embarrassed by their source material. And it was like one of these lame, like, oh, we're from this other world and we're into your world. And who cares? Who gives a crap about it? Like, no, if you're going to do an adaptation, do it.
Care about it. Don't just. There's lots of other things you go and just make it up and don't call it that. If you're just going to try to make the money off saying, "Oh yeah, we love Sonic," and I think the guy actually does care, was trying to fix it or something.
Yeah,
like that.
It sounds like they were going to redesign.
It felt like no.
Yeah, that's the way it felt for sure. But
anyway, reboots.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about DuckTales.
Woo!
So, which I haven't seen all of the second season yet, but I was able to watch a lot of the first. And what's super impressive about the DuckTales show is how much they're using elements from all kinds of DuckTales related media.
Like you said, the old comics.
Yeah, because the original DuckTales show is inspired a lot by the Carl Barks comics with Uncle Scrooge. And what they could have done with the new DuckTales is either like gone really hardcore in just that, but they all and it is, you definitely see right in their title sequence how much was inspired by the comics. But they also bring in lots of elements that are just from the TV show. They brought in some elements that are from the video games.
Oh,
even.
Nice! Well, you said the moon theme's in there, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great song.
It's a great touch. Like the fact that and that just goes to show. And they're doing it all with a new style. It definitely is like kind of a modern take on things.
Yeah.
The kind of the humor that they're doing. In some ways, you could say that it improves upon the original show. Like each of the nephews has their own personality.
Which is nice, yeah.
Which they never really did before. And there's different backstories. And I don't know, it's in a very impressive kind of taking what worked before and then just really adding to it, doing a new spin, but definitely showing a lot of love to the entire franchise. The new Netflix Carmen Sandiego show is the same way. It was a very creative cartoon, but they use characters and references that they didn't really have to do. I mean, Carmen Sandiego is one of the nice things about doing a reboot or an adaptation of it is that it's taken on a lot of different flavors already.
Yeah.
So being able to, you could do pretty much whatever you want with kind of the basic concept. But they showed enough characters that actually use different character names. And in some ways, they're really just using the names. The characters themselves, they're pretty much their own unique versions of them. Yeah. But, just the fact that they use them from the cartoons, from the game show, like the chief in it looks like the chief from the game show.
Oh, man, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that game show.
So lots of little different homages, even to some characters that are just from some of the more modern video games, that not as many of the, obviously will touch some nostalgia, but not for everyone.
Yeah. Interesting.
But, yeah.
So they'll be better reboots. That's good.
Yeah. Logic.
Maze dude.
Meta.
Everyone has a story.
Myth.
Theater.
Show don't tell.
Episode 79. We were way back when we talked about words, the meaning of words, and that you started with, I think that comic talked about words were, the postmodern idea that they don't have an actual meaning. Create meaning.
Words are dead.
Words are dead, or they don't. The meaning depends on what you want it to mean. Well, so I was reading this book called Total Truth, nonfiction, Christian philosophy, basically. They were quoting a guy who's a postmodernist, saying that he basically said for there to be meaning in words, the universe would have to have been created by a being outside of it that had its own language.
Do tell.
And I thought, well, and it's interesting because other parts talk about how some physicists now say that the primary building block of life is not energy or matter, but information. Because DNA is just information. It's like, they said like a cell holds like 80 Encyclopedia Britannicas or something like that of information, that the math that undergirds the universe is so particular that mathematicians are like, is more information than just random stuff, that the information that undergirds how the universe works is almost the primary thing that makes the world, which is interesting when you say that God spoke and said, let there be light, that information is the primary building block, according to some people's point of view, of life, of universe, of everything.
That makes sense.
And I thought reading that, I'm like, I like this. It's like you might know what you're talking. And it's funny because it's a Christian book, but like she's quoting this postmodernist basically saying, well, if this was true, then there'd have to be a God with his own language who made everything. And which is great because I would say yes.
In the beginning was the Word.
And the Word was God, exactly. And so that idea that words are vitally important, I think, is just more and more undergirded even by the more theoretical studies.
Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Complexity.
Appearances.
Weather.
Non-linear.
Wait, who are you guys?
Wait.
Why do you look like us?
Why are you in a boat?
No, this is an outrigger. That's what we're in, guys. We're in an outrigger.
But why? I don't understand. You'll understand soon.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right, because I want to make sure we get an answer to this.
You will get an answer to it sometime in the future.
Okay.
This doesn't make any sense.
Don't worry, it'll make sense eventually.
How'd you sleep? Lousy?
What's the quickest way to Tanner Mountain?
You're going to Tanner Mountain? Are you crazy?
Yes?
Rumors say there's a strange creature roaming around there. No one's seen it clearly. It walks like a human, but it's covered in fur.
So, Bigfoot, huh?
What? No, not unless you know a Sasquatch 3 feet tall. This is something not of this world.
As long as it's not Cylons, I think we'll be fine.
All right, what's the fast way to get there?
That'll be the train. The Dawn Treader leaves every morning at sunrise.
Sunrise? When's that?
How would I know? Dang it, Jimmy, I'm an innkeeper, not an astronomer. Soon, though.
Nick, we gotta go now.
Oh, right.
Hey, you forgot to pay.
Hey, can you keep the door open?
That was close.
Yeah.
Tickets, please.
The train attendant did not find the heroes' empty pockets amusing, nor their long accounting of the unbelievable events that had brought them there. But as the train was moving and bodies thrown from the train tended to mar the landscape for the passengers in the viewing car the next day, they were consigned to working a stint in the dinner car washing plates sticky with breakfast syrup. Afterward, having only eaten some plastic-tasting eggs, they took seats near the front of the train. In the seat across the aisle, they noticed someone familiar.
Natasha? Is that you?
Oh, thanks, Nick. You don't even recognize your own wife? This is the realm of Derailed Thoughts. I'm always in the background somewhere. Or don't you read your own show notes?
What are you doing here?
Watching Netflix. What else?
Oh, what show?
Oh, fine. If you're going to rope me into this, I guess it's time for my take on Tales.
It's technically our take on...
I know how it goes. Do you want my input or not?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what have you been watching?
I'm currently watching Dragon Prince.
Ooh, I think I've seen that. Have you?
Yeah. I saw it with her.
Oh, okay. So you're watching it again?
We are, actually. We're showing it to our kids.
Oh, are your kids on the train too?
Somewhere around here, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, give us a rundown. What is the show about for people who haven't seen it?
All right. There's this magical land and the human land, and they're currently separated with dragons and elf creatures in the magical land being able to do magic just naturally, and the human side and I forget exactly why they're split up, some war with the dragons, but on the human side they can't do magic unless it's dark magic, and the elves come to assassinate the king in one of the lands on the human side because he destroyed their dragon egg, or so they thought. But the two princes discover the dragon egg, and along with an elf, they try to take it back to the dragons.
So they're on a quest to take the dragon prince back to the Dragon King.
We've had some experience with quests.
Yeah, we're trying to do one right now.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting.
I should mention this is an animated series.
Well, it's an interesting form of animation, though, isn't it? Because it's like computer animated, but it's made to try to look like it's traditional. Which I remember the first season, I didn't much care for the style a whole lot, but they really smoothed it over. I think they took some fan feedback, and I like what they did with the second season. Feel a little more. What do you think of the look of it?
I like how it looks. Honestly, any deeper than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's very colorful. The characters are.
I love the characters. It's fun. Having just watched Last Airbender again with our kids, rewatched it, I should say. It's fun to hear Sokka's voice in there. And yeah, the characters are just really good.
And they're very complicated characters in many ways. I mean, like Viren, who's kind of the bad guy, has very noble intentions to a certain extent.
He just likes to take too many shortcuts.
Yes.
Is one of his big problems.
And it's interesting that every part of the show is well used. It doesn't feel like, in one episode, a lot happens. It doesn't feel like there's any dead time or any parts of the show that don't matter, which is why there's some things, I don't know if I should even say, but some things that I think have been stated that are one way, which I think will come back late in later seasons as not being that, just to be cryptic.
You were talking about how the villain is complicated. Well, his children are also complicated in a way. Like what's the name of the sister?
Claudia,
yes.
She's like your classic
She's nice.
happy goth.
You want to like her, except then she goes all evil, and I'm going to kill this little creature and do
like she kills that
dark
deer.
magic. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you fooled us.
It's a interesting one of the first times I've seen a magic system in a series like have a, kind of a dark side. Obviously different from Star Wars, but there's this natural order of magic, and then the way they explain kind of a dark magic being kind of a destructive kind of force. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's an interesting choice for a magic system.
And they've kept pretty consistent saying like, no, dark magic is dark, not like, oh, I'm going to use it for my own good reason, and so it turns into good.
So it's okay. Yeah.
Like the main Callum. Basically, just he does it once. And he's like, no, this was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. There's got to be a better way to do this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think season 2. I don't know if you agree with me, Natasha. I think season 2 really ramped up the fantasy and the interconnected, the kind of the big plot stuff.
Yeah, there's more big plot stuff in season 2. You can get some of it's not as interesting. It doesn't keep the story going sometimes. For me, like you're over here with the evil guy. What's his name?
Viren.
And back in the
flashback
in his world. I mean, on his
Oh.
side, and then you're over here with
the
kids, and they're on their quest, and so there's different plot pieces that don't really intertwine. So if you care more about one than the other, it can be I don't know, not as interesting.
One thing I did wonder, and you said you're going through this with your kids, are there things that's that you have to talk about with them?
Yeah, Nick got to do that episode because I was gone for the most recent episode we showed them. But yeah, if things come up, and I guess they haven't, a lot of it goes over their heads, but we talk about, like gender relationships and stuff like that come up, and it doesn't really bother them, and we mention it just in case and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is fair warning for, like, if I was to talk about this with someone else and they hadn't seen it, I would say, I think it's a fascinating world and it's an interesting story and setup. I remember I was telling Nick, though, it bothered me sometimes, it felt off to me. When I say it felt like it had some 21st century feel to it, which I guess Avatar: Last Airbender does too, but this one, because it feels like it's purposely being progressive in a sense, and some of that's not bad. I mean, I think it's cool to see, like, there's a family that's mixed race. That's cool. There's other stuff that's not so cool, like you said, the same-sex relationships. But maybe because I'm such a student of, like, Lewis and Tolkien and how they use fantasy worlds, that this one, it felt more off to me than, like, Last Airbender has, like, modern sensibilities, but it's in an Asian setting, so I don't see the disconnect as much. So I don't know. That was just my one caveat about the show. But overall, sounds like you've been enjoying it.
We have been enjoying it, and I think it's interesting rewatching it. It is a very tightly wound show. It's almost as good second watch through as first watch through, I think. Just because the characters are great. There's a lot of interesting, fun dialogue. Human Rayla is always great.
Her accent at first.
So the elf is Rayla.
It took some getting used to, for me at least.
An elf with a Scottish accent? It is kind of different.
And then she does, like, her human accent, which is hilarious, and everything she adds to that about how she thinks humans talk, which is, I mean, and how they think, which is even funnier. But, yeah.
I'm human, like complaining and making wars. But it's a very different sort of show. It certainly is kind of a spiritual, I don't know, ancestor, but relation to relative to Airbender.
Because I guess there's some of not the main showrunners from Airbender,
but one of the head writers.
Okay, worked on this one.
And had that sort of sensibility of the humor and the characters, but also a serious plot. And it's interesting to think where it's going. And you're right, there are progressive elements. Some of it's really, really cool and interesting, and then there's someone like, you're pushing this a little far. But I think they balance things, and I've been pretty impressed with what they've done with basically 18 episodes. It's only 9 episodes a season. And I think, in theory, season 3's in production, I think. But now, Natasha, you've also been watching Umbrella Academy.
Wait, what's going on? Listen up, everyone. Nobody move. This is the weekly hijack.
Cue intro, Zach.
Crypto, we're not in Smallville anymore. You're listening to the podcast for Smallville fans, watching through each episode of the sci-fi show Krypton. Now here are your hosts, the Smallville-obsessed Brianna and her never-short-of-words husband, Zach.
Welcome back to Crypto. We're not in Smallville anymore. I am Zach.
Brianna. Every time you do that intro, it kind of kills me inside.
No, it's fantastic. People love it.
I don't really know how I feel about it.
The people demand the crypto.
The people.
Okay, Nick, what is this? Is this another podcast?
Yeah, I think it's a good one. You ever listen to it?
No.
Bringing in cryptocurrency to Krypton, the TV show.
I see what you're doing there. That totally went over my head.
Then we could have like 10 listeners.
Maybe 11.
Well, the way Krypton is...
Well, we need to take control back or this train will derail.
And that's bad?
Of course that's bad.
But isn't that our whole shtick?
Never mind. Just follow my lead. Zach, Brianna.
Who? Oh, it's you guys.
Look, we can talk about Marcus's hair later, but right now, we're talking about Krypton.
Give back control of this train.
No.
All right, then we challenge you to a duel.
Challenge accepted.
All right, so let's see. Let's do a quest trivia off here. So the rules of the game are that each one of us will give our partner the name of a location from a quest story. If that partner can't get it, then the other team gets a chance to try to guess the name of the story, essentially.
Okay.
So I guess each of us will ask our partner, 2 questions?
2 questions. That sounds good. Or 2 locations.
So whoever gets the most points will win the challenge.
All right, Tim. Do you guys want to go first?
No.
We will let you go first.
All right. You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Lay it on me.
Okay. Here's a hardish one. The island of Gaunt.
Oh, Earthsea.
Very good.
What? I don't know what any of that was.
So you name a location and he guesses what it's from?
Yes.
Okay.
In theory, it should be a quest journey.
But you can make it.
Oh, I forgot that part of. Okay. I need to revamp some things in my brain.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
The Pit of Eternal Stench.
I'll give you a hint. I think it's supposed to be the Bog.
Is it the Bog of Eternal Stench? Oh, I feel horrible. I don't think that would have helped Brianna in
If I did not have pregnant brain
the
right now.
Bog of Eternal Stench. Here, let me...
Oh, wait. Is it Princess Bride?
No. Let me get my tight pants out and juggle a clear crystal
All right,
ball.
Tim, you want to take this one?
Crap. Labyrinth.
She got it. I'll give it to her.
Okay.
She got it on her second.
Sorry.
She got it. She said Labyrinth, if you listeners didn't hear.
We're in charge of this train anyways. We'll do what we want.
Well, we'll see about that. But, okay, we'll go with an easy one. Lothlorien.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Correct.
Oh, wow. That was such a hard one.
Okay, now it's our turn. Okay. This one's doesn't quite fit in with the assignment.
Do it anyways. You're in charge of the train.
Okay. The Bluth Banana Stand.
Arrested Development. There's always money in the banana stand.
I will let that pass if you can explain to me where in Arrested Development a quest is involved.
There is always
literally like 3 different people going on a quest that go wrong and then somehow intertwined together, and there's always a big...
There is usually a stop at the banana stand.
Yes.
I would say.
Yes.
I would say.
Okay.
I think we should allow it.
Okay, fine. So I guess we're tied at. I think we've all gotten our points
2.
here.
Yep. 2 each.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Carl Conrad Coriander's old books.
The Never-Ending Story.
Thank you very much.
We've actually been there.
Yes, we have. I figured you remember.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I was gonna guess that.
Okay, I've got one. Hologram Secret Lair.
Crypto.
Yeah!
Krypton.
I don't think the official name is Hologram Secret Lair, but
there's a hologram secret lair on Krypton.
Hologramps. It's a it's a guy.
It's the main character on Krypton. His grandfather is just a hologram, so he's holograms.
We call him holograms. And they go to the secret lair repeatedly, over and over and over again. There's no way it's still
Even
secret.
though the city is impossible to get out of.
Yes. It's
Okay.
awful.
All right, you've already done your hijack, so we got to.
We're still in charge of this train.
We'll continue our challenge here. Okay, Emerald City.
Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Oh wow. What's
It's
your
my
turn?
See, the one I had prepared is Smallville, but that's also the name of the show. So I will not be using that. Okay, let me just... Gotham City.
Wait a minute. Okay, we let some of this quest thing go a little loose, but now I'm like...
I'm going to go with the TV show Gotham?
I was actually thinking Batman.
Oh, I was being specific with...
I was thinking like Michael Keaton.
I got it
Batman.
wrong. I got the wrong.
I got them wrong.
I got it wrong. Wow.
But once Tim said that, I didn't do it right. I had to change the answer in my mind.
Yeah, I would say if Smallville didn't count, I think you should come up with something else.
Okay.
Come up with an actual quest place.
Questy.
This is still on Brianna, though.
Westerville.
Riverdale.
Again, the name of the show is the name of the place it takes place in. Oh man, that would have been a good one though. I could have said like Pop's Chocolate Shop.
Chocolate Shop.
I would not have got that one.
I'm gonna go. Can I go with one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Creepy. The place doesn't have a name.
Okay.
Creepy sea cave with a magic thing in the middle with water and a locket at the bottom.
Oh. Harry Potter
Bingo.
and Half-Blood Prince.
Very nice.
Okay, I think since we're tied, I think technically if we let them roll, let's try. I think we should start to stump each other.
Stump each other?
Like we try to stump them.
Oh, okay.
This first one to get one right wins.
Okay. Get one right?
Yeah.
All right, Care Paravel.
Eh,
That sounds very familiar.
Makes one of us.
Do you think that's...
Are we whispering our answer?
Yeah.
until we-
Do you think that's one of the Narnia things?
I have no idea. I didn't finish all of them.
I'm going to go with one of the Narnia things.
Yeah, that is Narnia.
Nice.
Do we get to tie up or do they win
I
now?
think that's. I feel like that's fair.
Oh, is it just the first correct answer? I thought we kept going.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I like the other idea, where the first correct answer. Okay.
I feel like Tim has like a list of 100 of these under the table. And he does. He just said, yeah, he nodded. He just nodded.
Actually, I did not do my homework for this as well as I should have. Although I don't know how I would have prepared.
That makes two of us.
3 of us.
4.
Nick did his homework. We all know it. A student. There wasn't a study hall period, so I didn't get mine done.
The Elephant Graveyard.
Lion King.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Good work. Nice.
You don't get this one, but Briny Beach.
Series of unfortunate events.
Yep. Good job.
I didn't know that one. Okay.
See, the problem is everything that Zach knows, Nick knows, but everything that Nick knows, Zach does not know.
Now there's shows he watches I don't.
Yeah, come up with something there. You watch all kinds of shows.
I do watch all kinds of shows.
While he's doing other things.
But that's the thing, I don't pay that much attention
Yes,
to these other
indeed.
things. Let's go with the Sisters of Quiet Mercy.
Ooh.
It seems like Natasha, do you know that one?
No, phone a friend.
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Okay, I'm just going throughout here. Riverdale.
Come on.
Ooh, good job.
I saw a half an episode when they were in a nunnery, and I'm like,
Oh,
How
that could have been
fortunate.
half the episodes, though.
Okay, I could try one.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is the correct name for this, but I'll say Mad Mooney's Auto Emporium. You know what that is?
I do not. Oh, maybe. Maybe I do.
I don't know. Try it.
Matilda?
It is. Is it the Muppet movie?
Oh.
The Muppet movie.
He's got a cell phone under there. He's cheating. I see
I was actually. I did not look at
correct
the name.
name.
I'm just trying to see if that's
accurate.
Yeah, how accurate that is.
That's when the what's the guy's name?
The big tall guy.
yeah.
The one.
Guys, I'm coming.
Sweetums.
Sweetums.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're taking this train back.
Fine.
That's right. So you guys can stick around if you want.
Yeah.
Maybe we can watch some Babylon 5.
Okay.
Oh, Marcus is gonna.
After that, the rest of the train ride was uneventful. But that evening, when they said goodbye to their friends and stepped off the Dawn Treader on the outskirts of the town of forgotten stories, Nick and Tim realized that the journey was far from over. How they crossed the desert of inspiration and defeated the rogues of doubt and acquired the one weapon effective against their nemesis Bernie Fusco, well, that's a bit of story. But if you will indulge me and pull up a chair and listen quietly, I will tell it to you. As you may recall, once upon a time in the town of Forgotten Stories, two adventurers, known in olden times as Timoteo and Nikolai Broszewski, set forth upon a journey to the Tanner Mountains, wherein waited the wily and ominously named Bernie Fusco, who had exiled them in this world and stolen talismans of great power known in higher planes as Mike and Mac. With these artifacts, the man called Bernie Fusco hoped to remake the world in his image. And that, the two adventurers said, we cannot allow. They set forth from the town of Forgotten Stories across the swamps of tomorrow. These were fetid, festering places, where all manner of vine and fern and tree grew intertwined with one another. With great difficulty, the adventurers plodded their way, boots squelching through mud that sent gnats flying into the air. Sweating and soaked, they traveled for days, hearing snatches of laughter and conversation just beyond the dark boughs, and saw visions flickering just out of sight. Here they encountered a man. They asked his name, for he looked to be a friend, and he answered, Darian. I have been wandering here for many years, he said. Some others have I met, one named Strin, another Fred, but I have lost them. Come with us, Timoteo said, and soon the vegetation grew less and the sun grew stronger, and they had survived their first challenge. But when they looked about them, Darien was gone. "We will return for him when this is over," Timoteo said. They could see Tanner Mountain far in the distance, but now before them lay the dread desert of inspiration. "We shall need courage and luck to cross this wasteland," said Nikolai. The sun blazed hot and the moon shone cold, and in thirst and great exhaustion, they walked across an unchanging land without any mark or change. A haze of heat blinded them in the day, and a starless sky shrouded them at night. And still they shuffled forward, until strength gave way, and they lay like ragdolls upon this cracked earth. And as they lay there, lips cracked, throats parched, they cursed the podcast that had brought them to this land with bitter groans, cursed the podcast that could bring them to such dangerous places but would not lift a finger to aid them. The podcast, of course, did not care what they said. The podcast did as the podcast thought best. As night fell once more, they thought they heard music. It was singing, soft female voices whispering through the air. The wind picked up. The voices drew closer, and above clouds began to form. Then with a crack of lightning, it began to rain. Then it began to pour. Soon, Timoteo and Nikolai were buried in mud, sliding down a steep slope, racing towards some bottom they could not see in the lashing rain. The ground gave way beneath them, and they dropped into darkness. In that darkness, somewhere between waking and sleeping, a voice came to them. The voice of one of the muses that had sung the storm. She told them, "If you go to Tanner Mountain as you are, you shall die. You must first retrieve the thing he fears most. Only then can you hope to defeat Bernie Fusco." "What is this thing?" they asked. "It is called MacGuffin, and you must accomplish this fetch quest before I tell you where the first leg of your journey begins." And so began a series of adventures. Timoteo and Nikolai descended into dungeons and fought the undead minion of a lich. They traveled the seas of whimsy and rescued the princess of the Isle of Gold. They traded with merchants from hill country of Phoenix Downs and got into bar fights in the fjords of Mumblejub. They rescued children and uncovered treasure and translated long-hidden scrolls. And all this time they fled the minions of Bernie Fusco and the debt collectors the innkeeper of Ithaca had sent after them for their unpaid room and board. Finally, after many years, in which they grew wise and strong and compassionate, they found the resting place of MacGuffin. With MacGuffin in hand, they marched back to Tanner Mountain. They climbed its formidable slope, bashed down the gate, and made short work of the guard, and burst into the inner chamber of the arch-enemy Bernie Fusco.
Give up now, Bernie Fusco, and no one gets hurt.
Oh, for crying out loud! If I had 10 more minutes, I would have had this up and running, and then you'd be in real trouble.
Took us years to get here. How did it take you that long to set up the podcast?
Look, there's a lot of royalty-free music on the Incompetech, blah, 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 blah. I had to find the right song. Leave me alone.
Just give us the laptop and mics, and we'll get out of here.
No, I'm not giving them up. I'll destroy them first. Then you'll never get home. No podcast, no traveling through time and space. You'll be stuck here forever. What's that?
It's just a cat we found in the jungle of Jaboki. His name is MacGuffin. Do you like him?
Get him away from me. Stop. Stop.
What's the matter?
I hate cats. I hates them. I hates them. Huh?
Give us the equipment. You've lost.
Fine. Take it. Ugh. You don't know how much you've made me suffer. All those episodes, never once did you mention my favorite show. Not once. Oh yes, you claim to love science fiction. You love the Muppets, of course, but you never said a thing about the only show that ever mattered to me. The world's premier podcast on storytelling. Ha! I grew bitter. I hated you. I listened to your smug voices and I cursed you. You were so ignorant, so blithely clueless. But what does it matter now? Take your equipment, spirit away. Leave me alone. I've always been alone.
What show was it? Maybe we could mention it.
Doesn't matter.
Is it Red Dwarf?
Hardly.
HR Puffin stuff.
As if.
Twin Peaks?
Really? Who cares about that show?
Samurai Pizza Cats?
Seriously?
Oh, I know. Koljack the Night Stalker.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
How about Benji, Zax, and the Alien Prince?
No, you fools. Alf. Alf, that hilarious visionary sitcom. Alf.
Alf?
Yeah, alien life form. I'm sure you've seen it.
You mean with Melmac, and the puppet that ate the cats.
Yes, that's the one. Didn't you recognize those Alf dolls I left on your doorstep?
Oh, that's what they were.
Of course, I thought it would be so obvious, but you still didn't talk about that lovable scamp Alf.
No, we never did mention it. Not sure why we would.
Can't take a break from Dostoevsky for the Tanner family, huh? Too busy looking down on us peasants from your ivory tower.
Look, we never meant to hurt you. There's all kinds of things we don't talk about, like anything written by John Green.
Or Bollywood. It's just the way it goes. We can't cover everything.
I always hope, though. Hope is always there, like...
A Raisin in the Sun?
No, like the possibility of Alf being rebooted by Netflix.
Yeah, that's not hope. That's delusion.
Well, destroy all my dreams, why don't you? You might as well let that cat slit my throat. It'll be faster.
Hey, Tim, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, but I don't know how else they would have included Dream Eaters in Kingdom Hearts 3.
No. Remember how Gandalf taught Frodo that he should pity Gollum?
Well, yeah, when Jesus taught that kind of thing, but yeah, sure.
I have a crazy idea.
Okay,
think about it. What if
we talked about Alf as a story school?
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's maybe some possibilities there.
Give him his segment.
Well, first thing, we probably should give a synopsis about what Alf is for people who don't know anything about it.
You mean people don't know about Alf?
Well, don't tell Bernie Fusco that.
Okay.
I mean, I know he's standing right there, but...
Just a second. So, from my memory, it's been a while. It's this sitcom from the 80s.
Yep.
With alien, called Alf, alien life form. That's what Alf stands for. Who likes to eat cats and is very kind of wisecracking.
Yeah, kind of a smart alecky kind of guy. The alien itself is performed as a puppet. I mean, it is a puppet.
Like it's Hobbit height or something like that.
I mean, think like Muppets in terms of like, you know, puppets for TV sort of style, but he's not designed like a Muppet at all. He's all brown and, well, alien.
Yeah, and he's a sitcom with a family, basically. He just lives a normal life and... Yeah, that's all I remember, really.
I think they try to keep Alf hidden and try to keep him from, like, destroying their house from... Because, like, from what I remember, the reason he's on Earth is he actually had to escape his home planet because it was blown up by a nuclear warhead or something.
Okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Again, 80s, you know, that stuff was a lot more on people's minds. And so maybe Alf will become relevant again these days.
He was from the planet Melmac.
Yeah.
So
those are
the
some
Tanner
basic,
family.
Yep, those are some of the basics. Okay, what would we talk about? I guess we would have to analyze what that show said about like immigration in 1980s America.
Does it say anything about immigration in 1980s?
Well, sure. Alf was an alien, and you know he was persecuted.
Talk to Bernie.
Well, like, what other sorts of things do you think we would talk about when we talked about Alf? Like, what are some of the key themes that we can learn about storytelling from Alf?
Alf is really a story about acceptance. You have someone from all the way on the other side of the galaxy, and they're far from home, and they don't know if they'll ever get back. And this is a family that takes them in and accepts them, even though he keeps sticking the cat in the washing machine, even though he keeps trying to eat the cat, even though he tries to hoard all their styrofoam. They still accept him, and he's part of the family. And that's why the cliffhanger that they left the frickin' series on is so maddening, because Alf's out in the middle of a field, and we don't know what's gonna happen to him, and the government found him, and everything is bad, and everything is terrible, and they never gave it another episode.
Okay, I did hear about that. Like, it's one of those, like, horrible show
It's
cliffhangers.
terrible!
Yeah,
Like,
that's... This is why networks need to pay closer attention. This is another lesson I think we can learn from Alf, Nick, about how networks need to value their viewers. Yeah. Now, did they do? I thought I remember hearing at some point they did do like a spin-off TV movie for him. I know some shows that get canceled do that sometimes.
I don't remember that. They had a cartoon.
Oh, okay.
But the cartoon is a prequel. It's him on Momac with his friends on Momac. And by the way, Alf's name is Gordon Shumway. Just breaking that out there.
That's good to know. You know, I don't know if I ever saw, I may have seen like maybe an episode of the cartoon. Didn't Alf also appear on that one weird cartoon All-Stars
I think he did.
Special? Yeah. I remember him threatening to eat Garfield.
He was also, if I remember right, had a like late night talk show thing, and Ed McMahon was his sidekick. It was like on TV Land or something for a while.
Alf has had a very interesting history.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Well,
except here, apparently.
Well, we're fixing that, Nick. We're fixing that.
Sorry.
Jeez. No, don't rub salt in the wound.
So how do you think, since I haven't seen a whole lot of Alf, what do you think a fellow Muppet fan would enjoy it, or do you think this is it way different, a different ball game?
It's more like a standard sitcom, and one of the characters just happens to be a Muppet, as opposed to something that's more Muppet-ish, where it's hard to say that, oh, Alf is a show where things are taken seriously, but Muppet has a certain amount of insanity that just sort of hovers around it, and Alf is trying to have you believe that, yes, this is an actual alien, and it's part of the family. So that's the craziness there, instead of general Muppet insanity.
Okay, fair enough.
Why would you recommend people watch Alf, who maybe have not seen it?
It's a quintessential slice of mid-'80s television. It really hits kind of all the stuff in there, and it's just generally fun.
Nice. I think this wound up being more of a Bernie's take on Alf than a story school on Alf, but it still works. We got Alf on the show, right? How was that?
I've learned something. All your kindness and willingness to let me be on your podcast taught me something. You guys stink. I'm going to start my own podcast.
What?
And I'm going to talk about stories that really matter. I don't even know why I cared what you guys thought. I'm out of here. Hey, podcast, send me back, will you?
Sure thing.
Bye-bye.
And so Bernie Fusco, having learned his lesson, clicked his heels 3 times and...
Wait. He can just ask to go back?
Yeah, podcast? What's the big idea?
The 2 intrepid explorers, Timoteo and Nikolai, bewildered by Bernie Fusco's sudden disappearance, started to...
We can still hear you.
And seriously, we haven't used those nicknames for like 9 years.
I like them.
And now you talk to us. You've never once talked to us in all these years.
Could you have sent us back as soon as we got here?
Why, of course. I'm a product of imagination, so I can access all time and space.
Then why didn't you?
It's about the journey, not the destination. Just as Bernie Fusco learned and grew by his time here, so did you. You did learn the moral of the story, didn't you?
That most heroes' journeys could be avoided if everyone would just tell the truth at the beginning?
No.
That wandering the far reaches of the world in search of a cat might be overkill?
I have to disagree with you there. MacGuffin is quite cute.
Well, I suppose he is.
He's pretty cute. But then, what is the moral?
Why, it's that your podcast isn't made up of mics and computers. No, the podcast is always with you, in your heart.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Isn't it's in your heart the moral of most of these things?
Can we just go home, please?
Of course. But I would prefer you to use the proper terminology.
Okay, spirit us away.
Nope.
Whisk us home.
No.
Apparate us.
Try again.
Beam us up, Scotty?
Absolutely not.
Get the transmat going.
Fine. The proper term is cast. I cast you places.
Oh. I suppose that makes sense. It's a bit punny.
I am a creation of yours, Anyway, shall we go?
All right, ready, Nick?
Ready.
Podcast, cast us home. Oh, that's better.
That was nicer than last time. Hey, we're home.
We are. We're back at your house.
Wait. And no time has passed.
Wow, time must work differently in that place.
Wow, they did it all in one night.
It's so convenient.
It is. My wife would be very happy because it's been a long time.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you got home and your kids were like a different age. Or something.
I'd rather not do that.
Yeah,
we don't need like a blip or something.
Well, I think we've learned something here, Nick.
We learned. Yes?
Maybe. The important thing is we had a good time.
We had a good time. We're home. We averted disaster. And we can keep podcasting.
That's right. And we're very happy to do that because we just finished our 100th episode.
100 episodes! Tim, we made it.
Yes.
I really didn't think we'd get, yeah.
It was a close call.
It was something else. Yeah, I was not expecting any of that.
Well, let's pull the curtain back here a little bit.
Okay, so...
And say thank you to everyone who helped us out with this special 100th episode.
It was a gigantic undertaking.
Yes.
feels like we're still working on it. But
and thank you all for listening for all or part of 100 episodes.
Yeah, no matter when you came in, we're glad that you're here. If this is your first episode, don't expect this again.
No, not for another 100 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. But it's been a thrill to be doing this long for a little project that we first started back when I was at film school.
We just called each other to Skype. You're like, oh, we'll try this thing.
Yeah, because I guess let me give a shout out real quick to 2P Start, which was a web comic on gaming that I was reading at the time and started following their podcast. And really, a lot of what, especially the early days of the podcast, the inspiration for what it was before I really got into listening to podcasts as much as I am now. The reason we have segments and like the musical interludes, a lot of that is because of 2P Start.
And if you had told me that like I would be talking into a microphone for 100 episodes, I would not have guessed that because I don't actually claim to be that great of a English talker.
But somehow we've managed to do it anyway.
It's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot.
We have learned a lot, and
hopefully you have.
Hopefully you have too about stories, about how to see stories differently and how to see the world around you differently. Because as we've said in a previous episode, everything is story.
Everything is story.
But yes, a special thank you to our full cast that helped us out this episode. So by order of appearance, first off, narrator / the podcast.
The podcast
speaks. He was voiced by Stuart Cruz, who's actually my senior pastor. So if you want to hear his smooth bass tones doing a sermon, go check out countylinechurch.org. The old geezer was voiced by Dennis Nichols, who's the husband of Lauren Nichols.
We had on the podcast not that many episodes ago.
Not too long ago, so go check out, I don't have the All for One website on the top of my head, but I'll put it in the show notes for you.
General Talbot was voiced by my sister, Summer Mosier.
The Pun Times Ringmaster was Greg Meyer, who we've had on the podcast before and a longtime faithful listener. Greg has his own podcast that he's started since then called Out of the Speed Force.
Oh, I did not know it had started. I knew he was thinking about one.
Yeah, I believe he's worked on one with a friend. It's a podcast about the Flash TV show.
Oh, nice.
So go check that out. I'll have that also in the show notes.
Gloomweaver was voiced by Laura Fisher, who we've had on, well, I guess a long time ago.
Yeah, when we talked about fandom.
Yeah.
So go check her out. She does a lot of writing fan fiction under the name Machorian.
Mm-hmm.
I almost forgot. Joe Metter as the voice of the Kermit intercom on our car.
Yes, that is fabulous. Janice, the barmaid, was voiced by Marcy Trish, who is one of my youth at youth group.
The Crackpots, Kenny Castillo, who knocked that out of the park and did a really fun job for us with that.
Who was once voiced Clint from Buckethead ages ago.
Very deep pull from the podcast.
Yes. If you remember that, good job. And then the tavern owner
I don't think even Kenny remembered that he was involved with that.
I know, that was great. Tavern owner was voiced by Nathan Marchand, who is a regular on our podcast. NathanJSMarchand.com is his website.
And he has his own new podcast coming up. He previously was on Kaiju Vision Radio, but he has a new one coming up called the Monster Island Vault. So for all your
Monster Island Film Vault.
Oh, excuse me. Monster Island Film Vault. I want to make sure I get these things right. I don't think that's out yet, but it will be soon. So stay tuned. The Ticketmaster, who had a very small role, but I want to thank him, was my roommate, Harrison Rue. So thanks, Harrison.
Playing my wife on the train was my wife, who was not on the train. Natasha Hayden, who is very patient with us recording these things
at weird hours of the night. Yeah, exactly.
And then
the train hijackers
were Zach and Brianna Hayden, my brother and sister-in-law,
who you can also hear, especially Brianna, but Zach pipes up occasionally on the Weekly Hijack.
And you can find their Crypto We're Not in Smallville Anymore podcast,
which may be ending soon.
Well, yeah, I think but it's still fun to listen. I've never seen the show, but I love to listen to podcasts, and they're like, yeah, the fandom zone is horrible.
And finally,
Bernie Fusco,
voiced by the one and only Aaron Brosman.
So we were very happy to have all these people on. It was a blast to record with each of them.
Yep. If you want to hear, Aaron is actually very nice. He's a much nicer person than Bernie Fusco. If you would like to watch him gaming, he does a lot of that over on Twitch. I think his Twitch channel is called Crop Circles IN, as in Indiana. So go check him out. I think he plays all manner of stuff, including, I think he finished Final Fantasy IX a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So maybe a few months ago.
But yeah, we were very privileged to have all these people help us out with this. We feel honored to be able to be your premier podcast on storytelling.
For now and until we stop recording.
Well, yeah.
So, okay, let's cut that.
This has been a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun putting this together, and we're thankful for each and every one of you.
Yes. Thank you all for listening, and go and create likewise.
Go and create likewise. I like it.
I like it. All right. Well, this has been, on the 100th episode, Nick Hayden.
And this has been Timothy Deal. Bye-bye.
Adios. That is how, in a small town in Indiana, on a clear summer night, Nick Hayden and Timothy Deal had the adventure of a lifetime. The end.